The face of hunger across the country has changed measurably in the last 3, 4, 5 years. Dad loses his job, then mom loses her job. The home that they had been in for many, many years, unfortunately, they lose that, and they end up living in their car, or unfortunately, living in quarters where 8, 10 people have to bunk in a small facility.
Several years ago, I worked for a caterer, and it broke my heart to see the wonderful food that just went to waste.
We're wasting like so much food because we don't use anything left over from the day before. So we always have a lot of stuff left. So we were like throwing like potatoes, soups, everything. We just bread, everything we just go into trashing. I personally hate waste food.
250 portions worth of food, meaning we could feed anywhere from 100 to 200 people after a football game with what we have left over, which seems like a huge amount. But in the grand scheme of things, when we have the amount of people we're serving, it actually is a small percentage of extra food.
We have so much food in this country, and it gets thrown in a trash can.
With catering, there's always leftovers, and in order to not waste those leftovers, we were looking to partner with someone who could do something with it and help out less fortunate people, and that's where the relationship started, and it's just really developed and built from there.
We Don't Waste is a nonprofit organization that captures, recovers unused food from events, venues, caterers, restaurants, and other major food providers across the city, takes that food on an instant basis, picks it up, and delivers to over 35 different community-based agencies across the city.
The supplement that came from We Don't Waste, it was like a godsend. Because it wasn't just food, it wasn't just junk food, it was actually very healthy, nutritious food.
He found us through our website, colfaxcommunitynetwork.org, and learned about our program, and that's when the partnership began, and it's been a huge benefit to our community here.
I think this is a really simple concept. We're trying to connect people who have too much food, surplus food, with the people who don't have any at all.
Larimer Associates is in the restaurant business through a variety of partnerships with chefs and restaurant managers. Honestly, we try and confine and concentrate our efforts with a few organizations where we really think we can make a difference, and we think that the organization is making a difference. And frankly, it's nice to tie in with a charity where there's a direct link to the business that we're in. And that's where We Don't Waste really is a perfect fit for our organization.
Rather than having to make 4 or 5 phone calls, we can make just one and know that that food is going to go to multiple different places.
We know, first of all, how many people any one agency happens to serve. And we also know, which is even more important, their ability to refrigerate and hold food.
Fresh vegetables, sometimes we get dairy, we get soups that were made at great restaurants that my clients could never afford to go to.
I think we have the best soup maker in Denver and probably in our entire company, and so we make large batches, but it's a new soup every day. We never serve it the next day, so it's amazing soups that our guests come for just because we have great soups, and now we can give it away too. We don't waste.
We have a small kitchen, so sometimes we can't, keep a lot of the leftovers, so first I have to throw it away right away, so this has helped me out big time.
Our food's very nutritious, and it's not junk food, and so now it's getting out to these people that could absolutely use it, and so I think it's great.
We have been involved with We Don't Waste. We're entering our 3rd football season.
So there are 141 suites that are catered by Epicurean Culinary Group at Mile High, and we collect all the food that is not consumed and is usable.
I mean, sometimes you walk in, you have 3/4 of a huge roast sitting there, and you think of how many people are going to get a delicious roast beef sandwich.
Arlen's taken a load off my shoulders without a doubt. He takes on a big chunk of what my staff used to have to do at the end of the game.
We picked up our first load yesterday, and it actually took us 2 trips, and we have to go back again today to pick up more. And then tomorrow we start dealing with the concessions.
When Microsoft came to Denver in 2011, they brought with them 18,000 people, and over the course of 4 days, I think we put out over 11,000 meals. not only do we get prepared meals and food, but we also get fresh fruits and vegetables.
Growers Organic is an organic produce distributor here in town, so we're selling to places like Whole Foods and Vitamin Cottage and King Soopers, and then we sell to several restaurants. In the world of organic produce, sometimes up to 60% of a farmer's crop could be number 2, and what that means is the quality's not, the product itself is perfect, it might have a blemish.
In general, when you visit a food pantry, you might get a can of something to get you through, but to have an item like a fresh banana or a fresh apple is probably not something that our population get on a regular basis outside of their school.
Maybe I have some salads that are gonna go out of date in 3 days, where a grocery store, I have to guarantee they have 7 days of life on their shelf. Well, Arlen fits in perfect because that salad that only has 3 days left is the perfect salad mix for somebody that's going to consume it in the next couple days.
We got 800 pounds of fresh Colorado organic peaches. And that's product that community-based agencies that have as their mission of feeding vulnerable populations rarely get. So
having more of the fresh fruit has been really, I mean, health-wise for our clients, it can't get much better than that.
It gets the food at a time when it can still be utilized for consumption, and it gets to people who need it the most.
Just because they're poor doesn't mean they don't have the same health requirements that we do.
And I hope that in some small way, a kind of a light goes off and they say, wow, this is exciting, this is good, this is enjoyable, I like this. Maybe I can do something for myself to raise myself up and enjoy this on a more permanent basis.
Knowing that it's fulfilling its mission and that it's expanding its base of support and its base of beneficiaries as well. We've seen the growth and feel really good about that.
With the connections that they have, it seems like we're getting more and more.
There are more people out there that need to be served, and we know that there's more people out there that have food for us.
Right now, what I'd really like to have is a box truck that was actually refrigerated. So to have a bigger truck would allow us to spread it further and wider and more efficiently.
He called me up at one point and said, I really can't carry this stuff around in my Subaru anymore. I need a truck or a van. I made a couple of phone calls and we managed to get him a van, which I think that the organization is still using, although just today, now he told me he wants a refrigerated truck. I'm gonna have to go to work on that one and see what we can do.
The last 2 years, we've saved over 500 tons of food from being put into the landfill.
You know, people come first. We're all human beings, and we all, you know, struggle at times. So anything I can do to make someone else's life a little bit better or assist other people with that, then, you know, I feel like I'm doing the right thing, and that's what's important to me.
They actually give you reports at the end of every month, so you know not necessarily where it's going, but how it was utilized, and the fact of what kind of weight or tonnage you were shipping out. Because it's one thing to say, oh, we just give money or we give food to somebody. It's another thing when we see actually how that money or that food is being put to use.
I have heard time after time from the people that we pick up food from that we really appreciate you providing us with the report, but what we really appreciate is the fact that the food that we have that would normally go wasted is now being used by people who really benefit from it.
Yeah, so our corporate entity, which is the Palm Corporate, decided, when I called and told them we were doing this, they loved the idea and wished we could do it in other cities, since we have 26 locations across the country.
Being in the food business, it feels good to make sure that other people aren't going hungry.
To rescue food that otherwise would be thrown away and provide it to the people who don't have the opportunity to have a decent meal on a regular basis. It was just very simple for me. To the extent I could help We Don't Waste do that and provide that service so that We Don't Waste doesn't have to pay for it, I was completely thrilled to do it.
I have a kid that's 13 years old. He is 13 now. He was 12 when this actually occurred. And he has 3 brothers and sisters, and it's 3 brothers and sisters, him and Mom. Mom works in the evening. She cleans office buildings or something like that. Before she goes to work, she tries to feed the kids, have something to eat, and then she goes off to work. During the winter months when there's not a lot of food in the food banks in the area, this child will tell his mom that he has so much homework to do and he already ate so that his brothers and sisters can have food. We Don't Waste alleviated all of that, almost 100%. So, what can I say? We couldn't survive without him now.
Fill a plate.
Fill a plate.
Fill a plate.
Fill a plate.
Fill a plate for hunger.